Okay, so if you've been listening to the past few episodes, you know that I have always complained that there's not a good outlet for Christian art. So I decided to give PureFlix a try. So this week I gave them my credit card number.
Dun, dun, dun.
And they hooked me up with a free month. It's not just for me specially. They'll do that for any of you. But the price is $10.99 a month. So I just wanted to check it out, see how it goes, and to see if there's anything there that, I'm not looking for get them saved in every movie or something like that, although that's there. What I'm looking for is something like an outlet for good Christian film. And I wanted to see if it exists. So I did the thing. And first off, let's talk about the things that they can control. Good quality. Good. It was crisp. Except for when I could tell they just took a DVD rip of something that was old. Yeah, and they didn't even bother de-interlacing it.
Oh.
Which, I don't know if you know what that is.
I don't know.
No, he does. But,
I can piece together what it is.
See the lines that were... so that part bothered me. But, overall, it's $10.99 a month. What is Netflix now?
I think it's the same.
Okay.
I don't know.
They're there at the same time. The player... It could do more. The reason I say that is, on Netflix, when you say, hey, back to browsing, I'm done watching this. No, you got to hit the back button on your browser. I know that's a little thing. But,
does it skip the intros and everything like Netflix does?
Well, here's the thing with their series is they don't really seem to have complete series. It's like they would have like 5 or 6 episodes of a series. Huh. So from the ones I've been trying to watch so far,
do they start in the middle, or do they at least give you the first couple and then maybe the budget for that series is gone? Yeah. They never mmade the rest of it.
Some of these are like TV shows that we would know that because they have a lot of stuff from the 50s and 60s and like really old stuff. So
because those were cleaner than what they are now.
Yeah, those are clean. But if they know, all I know is when I listen to. All I know is that my mom wasn't allowed to watch that stuff when she was a kid.
Right.
Oh.
So, it is what it is. So here's the thing. I kind of broke it down into my own breakout because, they're going to say Christian films, Westerns, all that kind of stuff. Here's where I'm going with it. Here's what I found. I found Christian persecution films, rapture films, Little House on the Prairie-esque films and TV shows, Hallmark movies, not made by Hallmark though, but that kind of
romance,
cheesiness. My wife would love it, kind of thing, but I wouldn't like. So those weren't made for me.
With a tub of ice cream and tissues.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying
it's just not for me. Now, action movies like hilarious comedies.
You don't need hormones for a tub of ice cream. Everybody wants ice cream.
There are a lot of stand-up comedy acts on there.
Really?
Yeah. Some of them are even funny.
I was gonna say people like we would know or like mainstream.
No.
Like Shonda Pierce sort of Christian acts.
Could not find Shonda Pierce on there.
Brad Stein.
But do what?
Brad Stein.
I didn't see Brad Stein.
Him. Tim Hawkins.
Louis Anderson. Do you know who he is?
Yeah.
Okay, Louis Anderson was hosting a
Mm-hmm.
PureFlix Christian comedy night or something like that.
Nice.
Weird.
But he's always worked clean.
Okay.
So yeah, he's never worked blue.
Huh.
So I don't know what his faith is, but not a bad choice. Has some facial recognition. Also, you got classic TV. Said that with 50 sitcoms, a lot of westerns, some children's programming, and here was the weird one. There was a lot of just plays on there, and low budget plays. Like there was a one-man show on John Wesley. Talking about it's very interesting church history. So there's a lot of church history in there. The problem is all of it was made in like the 70s and 80s. It's real corny.
The plays were made in
some
the
of
70s
the plays, and then they did a couple of other things. Like they had a guy playing Paul in prison, and this one was for like 30 minutes or so, and it's pretty much him reciting Ephesians. It's like, I can read this. Like, let's give me.
Now I've thought of, there's a couple of books that I'm like, you could stand up and just like quote this.
Yeah.
And it'd be a really good sermon and go sit down and people would be upset at you.
Well,
and you'd be like, well, it's scriptural.
Yeah. It's nothing but scripture. And that's what they did. That's what they did for
Which
this.
is
So
impressive. It's like redoing Shakespeare.
yeah. I couldn't make it through it though.
Really?
It just wasn't that interesting to watch. Because one old man, I mean, what you don't want is talking heads on television. Like
Especially if you're paying money for it.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why the CVC podcast is an audio podcast is because, like,
We're not attractive enough
well,
for cameras.
Speak
Ashley
for yourself.
is.
I will speak for myself.
Ashley's great. Me and you, we've
Yeah.
got problems. But,
Brown bag the episodes. The
Yeah.
brown bag episode.
which I'd be okay with that, or dressing up as clowns or something like that.
So just walking.
But I've thought before, maybe after this is recorded, I could go back and do sock puppets for the voices. That would be a lot more interesting than
you could
just
do do it like Canadians in South Park where they just their little mouths are just up and
Yeah.
down. That's it.
yeah, do something like that. That might be okay. But yeah, just having the talking head sitting there wasn't that good. They have a night show called I don't think it's every night, but it's like PureFlix Tonight or something like that. Don't quote me on that.
So
but
it's kind of it streams like a TV show that's very similar to
yeah,
a late night show type of thing.
more like late night news,
Huh.
that kind of thing. So
700 Club type news or just.
it seems like 700 Club meets Culture versus Christian,
Okay.
but without the
That'd be
comedy. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. I don't know what that makes us because
Did you just
yeah, I did it.
just
I went with
did
it.
you just slam us without meaning to?
Self-deprecation. Is there anything new on this? Like, other than this late night show, are they adding new things?
I think they are. And, content costs a lot of money either to produce it or to buy it, the rights to it. So, I don't expect it to be Netflix.
Right.
I would like to see some more up-to-date stuff. I would like to see some variations of stuff. But I understand it, too, that they've done market research and the people that they're looking for and that they figure is probably going to be women who are going to buy into this and subscribe to it.
Your hardcore, really strict
Yeah.
evangelical.
Yeah. Like strict dads.
Strict, like they don't have a television, but they can download
Yeah.
PureFlix and just watch it.
Did you watch God's Not Dead 2 on here?
I did. I did.
So that's relatively new.
Right. So let's
that's a big thing.
Let's talk about God. Have you guys seen God's Not Dead too?
I
saw
haven't seen the
one.
first one.
Okay.
It didn't look. I saw the Duck Dynasty. Look, I like the Duck Dynasty guys, but I saw that they were in it, and I went, it's probably not going to be very good.
They weren't in it that much. My problem with the first one is it ended with the dude getting hit by a truck.
Yeah. But it was the guy who played Hercules, so.
So
They killed Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
killed Kevin
they killed-
Sorbo. in it.
Spoilers.
He's a
You
dirty
didn't tell me
little.
he didn't pick it up and throw it.
And the one time when they left something in, did he get saved at the end?
I don't remember.
can't
You'd have to
remember.
watch the movie to find out.
I have figured out that people love to watch. Christians love to watch people get saved on film the way like people who like romantic comedies like to watch people kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's that feel-good moment of nothing can go wrong after this point, even
Right.
though everything
Everything
goes wrong
will go
after
wrong.
that point.
Or that moment of finally, yay! When you've got 5 seasons of that sort of, what is it, X-Files romance where they never do anything, and you're like, come on, just do it,
Yeah. So so that's what we're dealing with there. We get to God's Not Dead 2. And I shouldn't joke about cancer, but
You're going to. He said, but he's going to.
in the first film, it's not that I'm making fun of people with cancer. That would be terrible. But they didn't have a plot that was strong enough to carry the film. So they had a lot of subplots.
Cancer was one of them.
They do that.
And one girl went to the doctor and all of a sudden you've got cancer, And the thing is, we're sitting there.
Was that the first one or the second one?
This is the first one.
Okay,
It was
the first one they did that.
The Cancer Girl's in the second one.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, I'll bring it back around. There's going to be spoilers here. I don't know if our listeners really care about that sort of thing, but just so on both movies. So this girl's in there like, oh, you've got cancer, And she's like, yeah. But the problem is we were watching it, and it was just beat by beat. We knew what was going to happen next because it was so predictable, and the plots were so thin that it was me and my wife and this kid that one of our friends, and I just kind of look over there like we all looked at the show like, she's got cancer, don't she? Like, you got cancer, and
I wish they would have said it like that in the movie.
You've got cancer.
Have you got cancer?
Dun, dun.
And so we're sitting there just laughing our butts off. Just like, oh, God, they did, which is, it's not a funny moment in the film at all. And there are people weeping, and so we're laughing I'm a jerk. I'm just a big old honking jerk. And I understand my problems, and I'll repent later. But the problem that so all that was there. So same kind of thing, except this time, Cancer Girl was cured. And she called Michael Tate from Newsboys to tell him that she was cured. He's like, praise God.
He's like, I don't know you, but cool.
Yeah, he was like, no, he remembered her as part of the plot. So that was all in there. But she's like, no, I've got questions about God. And you're like, wait, you had this great redemptive moment. You were healed from cancer. Now you're like, I don't know if God's real. So
isn't that real life though? Don't we see that?
We see it a lot. And I don't know. I just wasn't buying it because she bought it. I don't know. I just wasn't. I get it happens all the time. I just didn't like it.
Pulls you out. Didn't convince you.
Yeah, and that was it. It was just very unconvincing. So
give me that.
So it goes on. The whole thing of the film is this teacher played by Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah, Melissa Joan Hart.
See, I see her as Clarissa.
Clarissa explains it all.
Yeah. And
the funny thing for poor Clarissa is she had nothing to do in the movie because it was all about her saying one thing wrong in class, and because she was a teacher, and they accused her of proselytizing in class, and then they drag her out to court, and she just sits in a courtroom quiet for the next 2 hours.
That's a shame.
That's the whole movie?
Pretty much. It's just a 2-hour movie of a court case with all these subplots peppered in, and everyone and then they set it up for a third one, but it's all Christian persecution, and it was unrealistic. And I know we live in weird times when people of faith are really hated, but I don't know. I just wasn't buying any of it. I don't know.
Sounds awful.
Yeah.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, it was a thin plot. I think they could have done better. Now, I don't blame PureFlix for this. I blame
God's Not Dead 2.
Yeah, I blame God's Not Dead 2. And get ready because they set it up for God's Not Dead 3 because one pastor wouldn't give his sermon transcripts to the authorities.
I think we understand that God's not dead by now.
Right.
I think, yeah. I mean, you'd think with a movie like that called God's Not Dead that they'd be at least trying to prove God, or it'd be more redemptive than just sitting in a courtroom for 2 hours or whatever.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's based on the assumption that we're all either being persecuted or going to be. So there's not a whole lot you can do with that because